As a young Christian, I was passionate about sharing the gospel, and I was looking for ways that I could use the skills that God had given me and the passions that God had given me in sustainability and sustainable energy and creation care in mission. I was just trying to work out how those two things come together, and I went to a World Missions Conference as a way to try and explore this. And I talked to a number of the advocates of the different stands there, and asking them about how they use sustainable energy and within their mission work. And none of them really did anything. And I thought, this is strange. It felt like an opportunity to me, but there seemed to be a bit of a gap there, and that these traditional mission organisations weren't engaging in.
Well, creation care can be seen as the responsible stewardship of God's good earth and all its creatures, everything that God has made. And we use this term because it refers very directly to the Creator, creation and Creator. Creation glorifies God. It has His fingerprints on it. It shows us who He is. It demonstrates His power, His majesty, His care, His love, His creativity. As Paul says in the letter to the Romans, it's part of His revelation to us. So creation glorifies God, which means that if we spoil creation or any part of it, we are actually detracting from God's glory. Caring for God's good earth and its creatures is part of what it means to be human. Right in Genesis, we see that God created man and woman in His image, and that's directly linked to caring, ruling over the rest of God's creation on earth. And serving in the garden, serving and conserving the garden. So this is part of being human, it's for everyone. The third reason is that we have good news for creation. Through Jesus on the cross, we have this wonderful hope and assurance that God has reconciled all the broken relationships between God, human beings, and the rest of creation through what Jesus has done on the cross. And that means creation has a glorious future. This is really good news. And that leads into the question around what this has to do with integral mission. We use this term integral because we see that mission should be much more than simply proclaiming good news, although that's fundamental. It's also about making disciples for Jesus, being disciples for Jesus, and that means loving our neighbour. It means seeking justice in the world and caring for creation. All these things working together should be seen as part of the mission of the church.
Since 2013, Creative Energy have been working to encourage churches and individuals to connect our faith and mission with creation care in the area of energy. We've been partnering with local organisations in East Africa in the training and dissemination of biogas, an alternative fuel source for clean cooking to replace smoky fires. We've seen people like Harry, who attended our training program, go on to set up his own business and not only bring biogas extensively around the region, but also build on it with the help of ECHO, a local organisation who have combined biogas with chaya in their efforts to improve health and nutrition in the community. In Ghana, we've seen our prototype solar light exchange kits bring light to unelectrified places, which not only unlocks productivity, but also provides added safety and security, and even allows people to be able to spend more time together. As well as this, we're also working on portable energy and innovating new ways that energy can be stored, transported, and shared, so that its benefits can be extended to the most neglected and overlooked.
Creation care and integral mission go together. Caring for God's world goes hand in hand with sharing the good news. This is why it is at the core of our work at Creative Energy. We believe that the way we live in relation to energy, how we generate it, how we use it, and how we share it, is a fundamental part of the whole life and witness of God's people, and a fundamental part of the abundant life that God created us for. You see, This isn't merely some kind of secondary side task or issue, but it's a foundational part of the mission of God and God's people.
So why don't we do this often? Why do we neglect some aspects of this mission task? Well, first, I think many will see creation care as you need a good degree, you need skills, you need a special calling in ecology or whatever. But it's really for everyone. We can all play our part in caring for creation, where God has put us. And then perhaps we think of creation care as a distraction from the main message of salvation through faith in Christ. But for me, it's all part of the same good news for the whole of creation. So I'm not belittling personal salvation, but it's God's work in creation is so much more than that. And then perhaps in our mission we neglect a deeper understanding of who our neighbor is. We live in one planet, one biosphere, and how we live in one place has consequences for our neighbors, even those way away in different parts of the earth that we don't think of as being our neighbors. And the last thing is our worship should embrace the Creator God. Perhaps we separate our worship too much from delighting, being grateful for everything that God has made, and just worshipping Him as the Creator God. So we could rediscover a more wholesome, if you like, wholesome worship.